The OnePlus Buds Pro have finally arrived, bringing excellent sound quality along with flagship earbud features to the mid-range market. But can they compete with some of the other big boys in the mid-range? And are they actually worth that $150 asking price? In this video, I'll be answering both of those questions along with giving you my complete review. I will also be comparing them directly to some of the other top earbuds, as well as including microphone quality samples towards the end of this video. Now, for transparency and full disclosure, I purchased the OnePlus Buds Pro myself with my own money for testing and review purposes. The means by which I receive any of the products on my channel does not color my reviews or comparisons in any way. No other compensation was involved, and no one was able to see this video prior to it being published. In other words, the brands will be seeing this video at the exact same time that you are. So now, let's not waste any more time. So first up, let's start with the connection and pairing. So let me preface this by saying that all testing was done with a OnePlus 6, a Galaxy S21 Plus, an iPhone 12 Pro, and an iPad Pro 2021, just to ensure full compatibility across both Android and iOS devices. Now, the OnePlus Buds Pro are featuring Bluetooth 5.2, along with AAC, SBC, and LHDC as their connection codecs. Unfortunately, there aren't a lot of devices on the market right now that are compatible with LHDC, but it will be available on OnePlus 9 and 9 Pro or newer devices, but from what it seems, it doesn't look like the Nord devices are going to support that advanced codec. Now, moving over to the Bluetooth range, I was actually able to get 11 meters or just about 36 feet with these earbuds. Now, that's going to vary a little bit depending on how many obstructions or walls you put in between the device that they're connected to and the earbuds themselves. In addition to this, these are also featuring dual connect or independent usage mode, and that's where you can use one earbud at a time while the other is charging in the case, and vice versa. I know some people like to use one earbud at work, and then maybe halfway through the day, they'll switch to the other one. If that's you, they're going to have you covered. So now moving over to video and latency. So I didn't experience any latency when watching videos, and that was both on iOS and on Android devices. So that's where you have a little bit of lag between the person's mouth moving and what you're hearing in your ears. No issues with that whatsoever. Whether I was watching YouTube, Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, it didn't matter. Now, on the topic of latency, let's move over to a little bit of mobile gaming. Now, Pro Gaming Mode will be available on some OnePlus devices, and that's going to give you as low as 94 milliseconds of latency. So that does help. It does help tighten things up, but you still will experience a little bit of latency if you're playing high-performance shooting games like Fortnite or Call of Duty. Otherwise, these earbuds are okay for casual games like Asphalt 9, Pokemon Go, things like that. Not going to be an issue. But if you are competitive on shooting games, then you're going to want to stick to those wired earbuds or find a set of earbuds that have a more improved low latency mode. But one thing that I think you should always remember or keep in mind is that when you have a low latency mode or a gaming mode activated on any set of earbuds, it will reduce your connection stability and your battery life. So unless you're actually gaming, you should probably leave that turned off. So now that we're on the topic of battery life, OnePlus was claiming that you were able to get 5 hours with noise cancellation turned on with an additional 28 hours in the case. In my own testing, I was able to get 4 hours and 4 minutes with noise cancellation turned on at 75% volume. And then I was able to get 6 hours and 53 minutes with noise cancellation turned off. Now, when it comes to recharging the earbuds and the case, these do feature warp charging. So you could charge these for 10 minutes and they'll give you an additional 10 hours worth of charge. Pretty wild. And then when it comes to recharging the case itself, it is USB Type-C, but they also feature wireless charging. So you can do both, whichever is your preference. And then the case itself features a slim clamshell design, highly pocketable, pretty dope looking if you ask me, and it actually makes the earbuds very accessible. Sometimes you have an issue pulling stem style earbuds out of their cases because there isn't a lot of room to grip, but these, because they're just kind of laying in there flatly, you can pull them out very easily without having any gripes or any issues there. Then the case once again is available in both matte black and in a gloss white. Personally, I'm rolling with the matte black. In an overall size, the case itself is not much bigger than the case for the Apple AirPods Pro. So as I said, slim, pocketable, and overall, pretty nice. Now, before we move into the next section, I have a quick question for you. Did you know that 80% of the people watching my videos aren't even subscribed to my channel? Help me change that. I'm trying to build a welcoming and positive community around audio technology. So if you're into the latest headphones and true wireless earbuds, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'd love it if you joined us. So now let's move over to the comfort and the controls. So firstly, the size and shape of the OnePlus Buds Pro is very similar to that of the AirPods Pro. So they are extremely comfortable for my large ears. They're light, they're non-intrusive, and I believe that they're going to be highly compatible with a lot of people's ears. Now, these are using an oval stem design with oval shaped tips, and they do give you a pretty decent tip selection in the box. But if you did want to go with something aftermarket like SpinFit, their CP1025 is compatible with these. So if you want to roll that way, you can do that. And there is no problems with putting them back into the case. They don't cause you any issues with charging or anything of that nature. Now, when it comes to sleeping with these earbuds, these are obviously going to be excellent for back sleepers. Side sleep is probably a no-go, at least for me. For some people, it might not be a problem. For me, it was kind of an issue, so I just want to make that aware. But as always, user experience will inevitably vary. And then last but not least, the buds themselves are carrying an IP55 rating, so that is dust and water resistance. So for your workouts, maybe a light shower, things like that, not going to be a problem, but I most definitely would not submerge these underwater. And the case itself is carrying an IPX4 rating. Now moving over to the controls. So these are using squeeze controls, which I thought was kind of interesting, and it is similar to what you get with the Apple AirPods Pro. It is tactile, it is simple to use, and very easy to learn. But that's also because they are limited in what they do. Now, it seems that OnePlus missed a major opportunity here with the OnePlus Buds Pro to implement volume control, especially if you're going to give us a bit of customizability with those squeeze controls. I think volume control would have been excellent. Or do something similar to what Oppo did with the Oppo Enco X and give us swipe volume control. That is literally the very best way to do volume control in my personal opinion. On the Google Pixel Buds 2, you had the swipe control. On those Oppo Enco X, you have the swipe control going up and down. And it is so tactile, it works so perfectly. I think this would have been an excellent touch to put on the OnePlus Buds Pro. But sadly, no volume control, no way to add volume control. So all we can do is hope that at some point they'll hear us talk about it and maybe they'll add it in a future firmware update. Now, speaking of firmware updates, these do feature app support. The app is called HeyMelody and it is available for both iOS and Android devices. And it is a pretty simple app. As soon as you open it up, you see the main page. And in there, you're going to see the battery levels for both the earbuds and the case. You'll have an option for firmware updates. You can have the option for the earbud control customization. And inside of there, you can kind of mess around with the different controls and the limited options that you have. Below that, you do have the noise cancellation settings with off, active noise cancellation, and transparency. The active noise cancellation offers you regular mode, smart adaptive mode, and maximum. Below that, you have the Zen mode Air, and that's where it plays white noise or music or nature sounds. You have 5 different presets. And below that, you also have the OnePlus Audio ID, and that is a hearing test that creates a customized EQ based on your own hearing needs. It does work fairly well, but I think user experience and mileage is going to vary with this one as well. And then last but not least, you have an earbud fit test to make sure that you're getting a proper seal. Overall, the app, like I said, is pretty simple, straightforward, and just kind of gets the job done. So now let's move over into the performance of the OnePlus Buds Pro. Now, OnePlus was claiming a negative 40 decibel peak active noise cancellation, and these do offer you 3 different modes. You have the regular ANC, you have the smart adaptive, and you have the maximum. Maximum is obviously going to be the strongest version where it's giving you maximum noise cancellation power, and it does block out a good amount of your external noise. So it is strong and one of the best on the market. But for me, it can be overkill in certain situations, just like on any other set of earbuds. So I like the fact that they have a smart adaptive option where it sort of adjusts itself based on the external noise. So when I'm outside walking around, it seems to be a little bit lighter, but when I come inside the house and there's noise going on, maybe from the TV or my family talking, it sort of ramps itself up. But once I walk into my office and it's very quiet, it sort of turns itself down. So that's something that I definitely do like. And that was actually my own personal favorite version of ANC with the OnePlus Buds Pro. Now moving over to the transparency mode, the OnePlus Buds Pro have a decent transparency mode here. Unfortunately, there is a bit of an audible noise floor on it where you hear that little bit of white noise hiss kind of a sound. So that's something that can be heard here with these. Now, thankfully, the sound of people's voices or like your television, things like that, it isn't overly processed. It actually has a more of a natural type of sound. So that's actually kind of impressive. But sadly, that white noise that I was referring to, it can be a little bit distracting when you have it turned on. So it sort of led me to continuously kind of put them back into off mode and not just leave transparency on at all times. So now let's move over to the sound volume. So in my personal opinion, these are getting a 9.5 out of 10 on my own volume scale, which is very loud. So for me, comfortable listening comes in around 60 to 75%. So these have plenty of overhead if you're one of those people that really need to pump up the volume. These get way more loud than I need them to get. So that's something to keep in mind. If you're worried about volume levels with the OnePlus Buds Pro, it's not going to be a concern. They've got you covered. So now let's move over to the sound quality itself. So the OnePlus Buds Pro offer a dynamic and very consumer-friendly sound. Great bass response, good treble, with a surprising amount of clarity and width in the sound. As always, I'm going to be breaking it down a little bit further in just a sec, including some test tracks for you to try out with the OnePlus Buds Pro. All of the test songs that I use can be found in my Amazon Music playlist. If you're interested in a free 3-month trial of Amazon Music along with the El Jefe test playlist, hit the link in the description box right down below. Amazon has an excellent library of music with many of your favorite songs in HD or Ultra HD FLAC quality. Better source audio makes all the difference, so you should definitely treat yourself. It also directly supports the channel and it's highly appreciated. Thank you for your time. So now, let's break down the sound quality. So first up, let's talk about the bass. So these have excellent bass response, good extension there as well. They dig deep. Not only that, you also have strong sub bass rumble. So if you listen to those tracks that have that real low frequency, rumble that you can feel as much as you can hear, these can definitely bring it. Now, the OnePlus Buds Pro are not boomy or bloated or anything like that. There is good control in this bass, and it doesn't roll straight through the mids like what you'll experience on some earbuds that are very bass heavy. Now, when it comes to the test track that I was using, it was Kendrick Lamar, Mad City, featuring MC8. Now, the people that have heard that song, you guys know what I'm talking about. That is a heavy bass line, so you definitely want to add that to your playlist if you haven't done so already. Now, moving over to the mids, these have a natural sounding mid-range. It's slightly forward, so it's definitely not recessed, and you're getting very good vocal clarity and a surprisingly wide soundstage for a set of true wireless earbuds. Now, I'm not talking about IEM or open back headphone type of soundstage. Don't get it twisted. But for a set of closed-in true wireless earbuds, it's surprisingly wide. Now, the test song that I was using for the mid-range was Janet Jackson, Anytime, Any Place. Her smooth vocals and that sultry voice, man, that song, that is the real deal. You guys got to check that out if you haven't done so. Add that to your playlist. Now, moving over to the treble. The treble itself is a bit more on the relaxed side. It's still, bright, but it's just not harsh at all, and it rolls off at the right point. There's no sibilance, there's no harshness, nothing like that. But you are still picking up some pretty decent details here. Now, the test song that I was using for the treble was Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody. It's an excellent track that's also available in Ultra HD FLAC, so you can hear all the different instruments as it moves from the piano to the guitar section to just the vocals. Excellent overall, and one of the best songs, period, for headphone and earbud testing, in my personal opinion. So now moving over to any constructive criticism for OnePlus. First up, and most obviously, is going to be the 4 hours with noise cancellation turned on. Now, a lot of earbuds that are in this price bracket are pulling minimum 5 to 6 or 7 hours with noise cancellation turned on. So that's something that I think OnePlus should probably work on a little bit more. Less emphasis on warp charge and that sort of stuff with the case, and improve the battery life of the buds themselves. That would be something that I would love to see. Secondly, the lack of volume control. That's a major missed opportunity in my personal opinion. Third, the lack of options in the control customization. I think that would have been something that they could have done easily, and maybe they just overlooked it or didn't think that people would want it, but I'm here to let them know that give people the options. Seriously, it makes you look good. Then, the lack of a graphical equalizer in the app. That would have been something really nice to see. It's cool that you're doing the OnePlus ID, and it does work fairly well, but I think it would have been better to also include a graphic equalizer so we can get in there and kind of mess around with the sound, or give us the ability to modify that OnePlus ID sound curve so that we can kind of maybe adjust it to our own personal taste. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I think they should do that. Now that brings me to my first question. Can they compete with some of the big boys in the mid-range? Simply put, absolutely. These are packing the sound quality and noise cancellation strength that make them a strong competitor in the sub $200 category. And now that's going to lead me over to my second question. Are the OnePlus Buds Pro worth that $150 asking price? Once again, the answer is going to be yes. They absolutely deliver on their promise of performance, both in sound quality, noise cancellation, and comfort. Now, the only drawback I would say is the aforementioned lower battery life. So hopefully that's something that will improve over time, but that's going to be up to you to decide whether or not that's enough for you. So now let's move over to the comparison portion. So in this comparison, we're going to be comparing them to the Edifier NeoBuds Pro, the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro, the Soundcore Liberty Air 2 Pro, and the Apple AirPods Pro. Now, if you're interested in any of the other earbuds that I'm including in this comparison, I'm going to leave links for them in the description box down below and in the cards right up here on the screen. So let's start the rankings. First up, Ambient Mode. In first place, we've got the Apple AirPods Pro. In second place, we've got the Galaxy Buds Pro. In third place, we've got the Edifier NeoBuds Pro. Fourth place, the Soundcore Liberty Air 2 Pro. And in fifth place, the OnePlus Buds Pro. Now, Apple takes the win here because of the prowess of their transparency mode. It is still class leading to this day. It is the most natural sounding with the lowest noise floor. So overall, it is still the best. Now, that's not to say that the rest of these don't have very good transparency or ambient modes, because they do, but the one from Apple, it definitely stands out above the rest. Now, moving over to the active noise cancellation. In first place, you've got the Apple AirPods Pro. In second place, you've got the OnePlus Buds Pro. In third place, you've got the Edifier NeoBuds Pro. In fourth place, you've got the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro. And in fifth place, you've got the Soundcore Liberty Air 2 Pro. Now, to be clear, none of these have bad noise cancellation. They're all actually excellent and highly competitive. The one from the AirPods Pro just does a better job with both low frequency noises and mid-range frequency noises, so people's voices, things of that nature. And it was a very close race with the OnePlus Buds Pro and their smart adaptive ANC. So that in itself is something pretty cool that almost put them over the top. Now, moving over to volume itself, just straight up sound volume. In first place, we've got the OnePlus Buds Pro. In second place, we've got the Galaxy Buds Pro. In third place, the Edifier NeoBuds Pro. Fourth place, the Soundcore Liberty Air 2 Pro. And fifth place, the Apple AirPods Pro. The OnePlus Buds Pro definitely took the win here because they are definitely louder than most of these other earbuds. Very close race with the Galaxy Buds Pro here. Now, last but not least, let's move over to the sound quality. So for sound quality, in first place, we've got the Edifier NeoBuds Pro. In second place, we've got the OnePlus Buds Pro. In third place, the Soundcore Liberty Air 2 Pro. In fourth place, the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro. And in fifth place, the Apple AirPods Pro. So the NeoBuds Pro take the win here over the OnePlus Buds Pro by giving you a much more rich and much more dynamic sound. Now, it is a bit of an unfair advantage because the Edifier NeoBuds Pro are actually a dual driver earbud. They have a dynamic driver and a balanced armature in each of the buds, giving them excellent separation, deeper bass, richer treble, and very natural sound when it needs to be. So they are not to be underestimated by any means and definitely deserve their competitive flagship status as one of the best earbuds on the market. Now, the OnePlus Buds Pro are no slouch, excellent sound, as I said in the sound quality section, with some surprising width to the sound. So very, very warm and very rich sounding. But to be completely honest, with any of these earbuds in this list, for sound quality, you really can't go wrong. But my favorites are going to be the top three: Edifier NeoBuds Pro, OnePlus Buds Pro, and the Soundcore Liberty Air 2 Pro. Now, before we move on, let's go ahead and do some microphone quality samples, and this way you can hear how they all sound up against each other and see which one of these is going to work best for you. All right, so here we have the mic quality test for the OnePlus Buds Pro. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, we're in an indoor environment, semi-quiet in here. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the microphone quality test for the Edifier NeoBuds Pro. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, once again, we're in an indoor environment, semi-quiet. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the microphone quality test for the Soundcore Liberty Air 2 Pro. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, we're indoors once again, semi-quiet environment. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the call quality test for the Apple AirPods Pro. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Indoors, semi-quiet environment. This is what you can expect from the Apple AirPods Pro. All right, so here we have the microphone quality test for the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Once again, we're indoors in a semi-quiet environment. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the OnePlus Buds Pro in a simulated crowd noise environment, like a crowded cafe, maybe a busy bar, something along those lines. So testing, 1, 2, 3. So here we have the microphone quality test for the Edifier NeoBuds Pro in a simulated crowd noise environment, similar to a crowded bar or maybe a busy train station, something along those lines. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, and here we have the microphone quality test for the Soundcore Liberty Air 2 Pro in a simulated crowd noise environment. So, something like a busy cafe or maybe a busy bus stop, something along those lines. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the call quality test for the Apple AirPods Pro in a simulated crowded, noisy environment. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. This is what you can expect in a crowded, noisy environment from the Apple AirPods Pro. And here we have the microphone quality test for the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro in a simulated crowd noise environment, almost like a busy bar or maybe a busy restaurant, something along those lines. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. As always, you're going to have to be the judge of the call quality down in the comment section. Now, if you're interested in checking out my reviews of any of the earbuds that I included in this comparison, I'm going to leave them in a playlist right up here. Or if you want to watch the video that YouTube is recommending for you, I'll leave that right up here. With all that said, I'm out of here. Peace.